Hi everyone, I'm Xiao Kui from Susan's family. Today, I'm going to show you a kitty drawstring bag. This bag consists of the main piece and accessories. 2 parts in total. First, we complete the crocheting of the main piece. Then make and attach the accessories. Now, let's start learning the making method for the main piece. The main piece includes the bag bottom, Section 1 of the bag body, Section 2 of the bag body, Section 3 of the bag body, and Section 4 of the bag body, 5 parts in total. Among these, the bag bottom is pre-made. Sections 1 through 4 of the bag body need to be crocheted and sewn together. Let's first learn the crocheting method for Section 1 of the bag body. Take a look at the chart. The bag body is crocheted by joining yarn onto the bag bottom. First, crochet the edging along the chain spaces of the bag bottom, then work in rounds going upwards. The stitches used include chain stitch, single crochet, and slip stitch. Below, please watch as I demonstrate the specific crocheting method. Start by crocheting the edging for the bag bottom. This will serve as round 1 of the bag body. The bag bottom is oval shaped. The side with the feet is the right side. On the outside of the feet, there are 5 corresponding chain spaces. On the curved area of the oval, the inner chain spaces, and on the straight line area. Both areas use the same crocheting method, but have different stitch counts. Take out the corresponding yarn, for your convenience to see more clearly. I will demonstrate using thick cotton yarn. Colors are random for specific yarn, color schemes and hook sizes. Please refer to the detail page of our product and paper instructions. Let's first learn the basic posture for holding a crochet hook. Make a slip knot with the yarn tail. Hold the slip knot with your right hand. Wrap the yarn tail around your left little finger once. Pass it through between your middle finger and index finger. Pinch the yarn loop with your left thumb and middle finger. Pick up the crochet hook with your right hand. On the leather bag base, the side with the raised feet should face you. Insert the hook into the straight area above the first chain space on the right. Draw the knotted loop through. Adjust the size so that the loop is level with the edge of the bag base. Ensure there are no extra loops at the back. Keep the knotted part from coming through to the front. Work 1 chain as the beginning chain. This will serve as the turning chain for single crochet. Position the hook to the left of the yarn. Wrap the yarn counterclockwise around the hook. Pull it through the loop. 1 chain stitch is done. Tighten the yarn. Note that the turning chain for single crochet doesn't count as 1 stitch. Next, work 2 single crochets into the chain space below. Insert the hook into the chain space. Place the tail of the slip knit on top of your hook. Weave in the ends as you go along. Yarn over. Pull the yarn through. Pay attention. Draw the loop even with the edge of the bag bottom. At this point, there are 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over again, and draw through all the loops on your hook. That completes 1 single crochet. Above the single crochet on the right, there is a V-shaped formed by 2 strands of yarn. This is the stitch of a single crochet. Next, continue working in the same chain space. Work the second single crochet. Insert your hook into the chain space. Don't forget to keep weaving in the tail. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through. Pull it to level with the edge. Yarn over again. And draw through both loops on the hook. The second single crochet is done. Next, work 3 single crochets in the chain space on the left side. Then work 2 single crochets in the next chain space on the left side. Following that, work 3 single crochets in the next chain space. For the straight section below, there is 1 chain space. Crochet 2 single crochets, then work 3 single crochets in the next chain space, following this pattern. Continue working in this sequence as you go down. When you reach the curved area, work 4 single crochets in each chain space. For the next chain space, work 3 single crochets, continuing with this technique. Once completed, keep going using the previous method. Finish crocheting this round. Now the 4 single crochets in the last chain space of the curved area are finished. The 4 single crochets are done. On the first single crochet stitch of this round, make 1 slip stitch to join. Insert the hook into the stitch. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through. And draw through all loops on the hook. This V-shaped loop is formed by the slip stitch. The joining slip stitch does not count as a stitch. You need to tighten the yarn. The first round of the body is now complete. Next, we will work on the second round. Start with 1 chain stitch. Below and to the left of the chain stitch is the first stitch of the previous round. This small braid on the right is the chain from the slip stitch. Moving 1 braid to the right is the last stitch of the previous round. Turn the bag bottom over. Make sure the side without the feet is facing you. Insert the hook into the last stitch of the previous round. You will notice that, when viewed from the wrong side, the stitch is located above and to the left of the corresponding stitch. Pick up the stitch with the hook. Work one slip stitch. There's no need to tighten this stitch. This refers to the solid oval on the pattern chart. The solid oval indicates that the slip stitch should not be tightened. The solid circle, on the other hand, means the slip stitch needs to be tightened. I won't repeat this explanation moving forward. Refer to the chart. You can see that this round corresponds directly to the stitches of the previous round, working one slip stitch for each stitch. Repeat this process until you complete this round. While crocheting, you can check the stitch count as you go, to avoid adding or missing any stitches. After completing the last stitch, pick up the first slip stitch braid from this round, with 2 strands of yarn. Work a slip stitch join. This slip stitch needs to be tightened, as the next round will involve changing colors for crocheting. Then, crochet 1 chain stitch, which helps secure the yarn in place. Leave a 5 cm yarn tail before cutting the yarn. Tighten the yarn tail. The second round is now complete. Next, we'll work on the third round. Position the bag so that the side with the feet spikes faces you. Take the corresponding yarn. Let's join the yarn first. Tie the yarn tail into a loose knot. Wrap the yarn around your left hand. At this point, there are 2 rounds of braids along the edge. The previous round consists of the single crochet stitches from the first round. The back round is the braid formed by the slip stitches. Locate the last stitch of the previous round. It's the loose slip stitch. Join the yarn here. Insert the hook under both loops. Draw the loop with the knot through. Adjust the loop size. Be mindful not to pull the knot part to the right side. Now joining the yarn is completed. Then make a chain 1 to start. Work 1 single crochet into the same stitch. For this round, pick up the 2 strands of the slip stitch braid from the previous round. Correspondingly make single crochets. Continue working downwards while crocheting. Whenever you encounter a yarn tail, place it on the hook and weave it in as you work. As you continue to crochet forward, the yarn tail from the end of the previous round and the reserved yarn tail from this round should both be woven in as you go. I won't repeat this again. When you reach the end of the previous round, pay attention. Do not add extra stitches to the joining slip stitch if you're really unsure. You can distinguish based on the number of single crochets in the chain spaces below. There is 1 slip stitch above each single crochet. This will help you keep track. 1 single crochet corresponds to 1 slip stitch above it. Then, join with a slip stitch into the first single crochet stitch of this round. Pull tight. The 3rd round is now complete. Continue to the 4th round. Chain 1 to start. In this round, work 1 single crochet into each stitch from the previous round, corresponding as you go. Complete this round. After completing, join with a slip stitch into the first stitch. Pull tight. The 4th round is now finished. Crochet 1 more chain to secure. Leave a yarn tail and cut the yarn. Place the bottom and section 1 of the bag aside for later use. Up to this point, the crocheting method for section 1 of the bag body has been fully explained. Next, let's learn the crocheting method for section 2 of the bag body. Take a look at the finished product. Section 2 of the bag body consists of 4 identical square fabric pieces. Each piece starts with an adjustable magic ring. Crochet counterclockwise in rounds outward. After completion, sew together one side between each pair of fabric pieces. This will form a closed cylindrical shape. Pay attention, the cat fabric piece is crocheted later and sewn on. The new stitches used include double crochet. Below, please watch as I demonstrate the specific crocheting method. First, we'll start with a beginning chain. Take out the corresponding yarn. Here, I'm using random color combinations. The colors are not for reference. I won't repeat this process again later. Pick up the yarn with your right hand and wrap it twice around your left index finger. There are now 3 strands on your index finger. Use your right thumb and index finger to pinch where the loops overlap. Take the looped yarn from your left hand and transfer the loop to between your left middle finger and thumb. Pick up the crochet hook with your right hand and insert it into the loop. Position the hook to the left of the yarn. Then wrap the yarn counterclockwise around the hook. Draw the yarn through, leaving one loop on the hook now. Continue with a chain stitch to secure. Pay attention. The loop on the hook shouldn't be too tight, or it will be difficult to continue crocheting later. That's it. The magic ring is now complete. Move on to the first round. Work 3 chains as a beginning chain. This beginning chain counts as 1 double crochet. Next, work 1 double crochet into the large space of the magic ring. Yarn over. Insert the hook into the magic ring. Yarn over again, and draw the yarn through. Now there are 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over. Pull through the first 2 loops. Yarn over again, and pull through all loops on the hook. That completes 1 double crochet. The braid at the top right is the stitch of this double crochet. Continue working double crochets into the large space of the magic ring. Yarn over. Insert the hook into the loop. Yarn over and draw through. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops on the hook. Repeat this twice. 1, 2, and the second double crochet is done. You need to crochet 5 more double crochets in this round. Keep going until you finish them all. Once completed, you can check. Count the stitches like this. There should be 7. Plus the starting chain. That makes 8 double crochets in total. Now, let's close the magic ring. You can move the crocheted part to the right a bit. There are 2 loops here. Gently pull the starting tail first. 1 loop is still movable. Tighten the movable loop. 1 loop is left. Pull the yarn tail directly to tighten it. Like this. The loop is closed. Finally, on the 3rd chain of the starting chain, pick up these 2 strands. And join with a slip stitch. Pull tight. At this point, the fabric will curve backward, which is normal. The first round is now complete. Move on to the second round. Make 3 chains as the beginning chain. Then insert the hook into the placement of the previous slip stitch at the insertion point. Work a double crochet. Continue on the left stitch and work another double crochet. Then work 2 double crochets in the next left stitch. Work 2 chains. Continue in the same stitch. And work 2 more double crochets. We will count the 5 double crochets and 2 chains we just worked as one group. This round is to repeat working this group pattern. Keep going with your crochet. Work 1 double crochet in the left stitch. Then in the same left stitch, work 2 double crochets. Next, work 2 chains. Then work 2 more double crochets in the same stitch. You've completed another group. Continue with the next group. Once done, work 1 double crochet in the left stitch. Insert into the previous round, insertion point for the slip stitch. Work 2 double crochets. Then work 1 chain. Next, at the top chain from the turning chains, pick up 2 loops. Work 1 single crochet. Round 2 is now complete. Let's take a look at the fabric piece. The right side has a clear texture. The wrong side has a blurry texture. While crocheting, keep the right side facing you. Now for round 3. Make 3 chains as the beginning chain. Then insert the hook into the large space below. And work 1 double crochet. Next, work a double crochet in each stitch on the left, corresponding one by one, until you finish all stitches on the left. Just before the large chain space, pay attention, don't skip the top of the beginning chain. When you reach the corresponding position, in the large loop of the chain on the left side, crochet 4 double crochets. Separate each pair of double crochets by 2 chains. After completing it, let's take a look. The pattern for this round of crochet is to work on the stitch of double crochet. Work a double crochet into each stitch. In the large space of the chain, crochet 4 double crochets with 2 chains in between. Continue following this pattern until you finish at the position of the beginning chain. The double crochet stitches on the right side. After completing it, crochet 2 double crochets in the large hole on the left. Then make 1 chain. Then, on the 3rd chain of the beginning chain, make 1 single crochet. This completes the 3rd round. Continue to the 4th round. The crocheting method for this round is similar to the 3rd round. Work double crochets into each double crochet stitch, and in the large spaces of the chains, crochet 4 double crochets with 2 chains in between. Follow this process to continue crocheting. Pay attention. On the left side of the last double crochet, after completing it, do not make a single crochet, instead, continue with 1 chain stitch. Finally, on the 3rd chain of the beginning chain, join with a slip stitch. Since the next round requires color changes for crocheting, secure the yarn tail and fasten off. The 4th round is now complete. Move on to the 5th round. Take the corresponding yarn. Join the yarn in any large chain space from the previous round. Then start crocheting. The method for this round is identical to the 4th round. Double crochet positions should correspond one by one with the stitches. Work double crochets. Make 4 double crochets into each large chain space. Skip 2 chains between each section. After completing the last chain, in the 3rd chain from the beginning chain, join with a slip stitch, then fasten off the yarn. Follow this process to complete this round. This is what the 5th round looks like when finished. Now let's take a look at the final round. For this round, you'll need to change colors while crocheting. Join the yarn in any large chain space from the previous round. Then start crocheting. In the large chain space, work 2 chains on both sides. Crochet 3 double crochets on each side. The rest of the positions are the same as the 5th round. Everyone, refer to the pattern and complete this round. Pay attention. The first stitch on the left side of the chain space will be covered by the double crochet from the right side. Don't miss it while crocheting. After completion, leave a yarn tail of about 40 centimeters and fasten off. It will be used for sewing later. That concludes the technique for crocheting a square fabric piece. After completing it, measure the dimensions of the piece. Compare it with the size marked on the chart. If there's a big difference, you need to adjust your tension. This prevents the finished bag from being unattractive. Everyone, follow the same method to crochet the remaining 3 pieces. After crocheting all the squares, you can arrange the sewing positions of the 4 pieces according to your preference. Here, I'll demonstrate with a sample swatch. Place it right side facing up, and line them up like this. When arranging, make sure to place all the end of the thread at the top left corner. Now let's start sewing. Take any 2 adjacent fabric pieces. Thread the reserved yarn tail on the right piece into the sewing needle. Then align the adjacent edges of the 2 pieces with their wrong sides facing each other. Position this edge upwards. Here, we'll use a whip stitch to sew them together. Insert the needle from the position of the yarn tail behind the fabric and through the left chain stitch of the right piece. Pick up a strand close to the wrong side of the fabric. Move forward and pick up the corresponding chain stitch on the front piece. Sew once through a strand near the wrong side of the fabric. Continue moving left, passing through the corresponding positions of both pieces. Pick up one strand close to the wrong side of the fabric. Don't skip the beginning chain on the front piece. Sew once. Repeat this process, sewing to the left. Each time, pass through both fabric pieces. Pick up one strand near the wrong side of the fabric and sew it together. The tension of the sewing thread should be moderate. Continue sewing downward until you reach the last stitch on this edge. Once done, pick up the left side chain stitches from both pieces. Sew once through a strand close to the wrong side of the fabric. Then take the sewing yarn tail on the wrong side of the fabric. Pick up a loop and tie a knot to secure it a few times. Follow the texture on the backside to hide it well. Trim off any excess tail. That completes the sewing of one edge. Everyone can follow the same method to sew the remaining 3 edges. This is what it looks like after sewing is completed. Up to this point, the making method for section 2 of the fitted body is complete. That concludes the explanation. Next, let's learn the crocheting method for section 3 of the fitted body. Let's take a look at the finished product. Section 3 of the fitted body is crocheted in rounds above section 2. It is worked in rounds. The new stitches used include SC2 in 1. Below, please watch as I demonstrate the specific crocheting method. The detailed crochet technique. Start with the first round. Take the corresponding yarn and the sewn together section 2 of the bag body. At any one fabric piece, join the yarn in the large loop of the chain on the top right corner. Note: the joining position is on the side edge of the bag body. You can choose the joining spot based on your preference. Select the joining position accordingly. After completing the yarn join, start crocheting. First, make one beginning chain. Then work one single crochet in the large loop, where the yarn was joined. Next, work single crochets evenly into each stitch on the left side. Until you finish this piece. At the stitch to the right of the large chain space on the left side. When you reach the corresponding position, work one single crochet in the large chain space. Then, pick up the edge of the seam between 2 pieces. Work one single crochet. After completing it, continue working single crochets evenly into the large chain space and stitches on the left piece until you finish this piece at the large chain space on the left side. After completing it, pick up the edge of the seam between the left pieces. Work one SC2 in 1. That is, work 2 single crochets in the same position. The SC2 in 1 will be completed. From this round onward, work single crochets evenly into the large chain spaces and stitches on the left piece, corresponding to each stitch. Work one single crochet on the seam between the 2 pieces. Repeat this process until you finish the last piece at the large chain space on the left side. Finally, on the seam line between the 2 pieces, work one SC2 in 1. That is, work 2 single crochets in the same position. The SC 2-in-1 will be completed on the first single crochet stitch of this round. Join with a slip stitch. Tighten. The first round is now complete. Move on to the second round. Chain 1 to begin. Then, on the stitches of the previous round, work single crochets evenly. Work all the way down for this round. After completing, on the first single crochet stitch of this round, join with a slip stitch. Tighten. The second round is now complete. The crocheting method for the remaining part of section 3 is identical to round 2. It's all the same. When counting rounds, count the raised textures as your guide. 1, 2, 3. The sample section 3 has already been crocheted for 3 rounds. Everyone, follow this process. Refer to the chart and finish the remaining part. After completion, fasten off normally. Up to this point, the crocheting method for section 3 of the bag body has been fully explained. Next, let's learn the crocheting method for section 4 of the bag body. Let's take a look at the finished product. Section 4 of the bag body is located above section 3. Crochet in rounds. The new stitch techniques used include treble crochet. Below, please watch me demonstrate the specific crocheting method. First, let's crochet the first round. Take out the corresponding yarn. Locate the last round of section 3 of the bag body. In the final round, find the third single crochet stitch. Join the yarn at this stitch. Then, make 4 chain stitches as the beginning chain. This is the beginning chain. This is equivalent to 1 treble crochet. Next, hook 1 treble crochet on the left stitch. Wrap the yarn around the hook twice. Insert the hook into the stitch. Yarn over and draw through. Now there are 4 loops on the hook. Yarn over, draw through the first 2 loops. There are 3 loops remaining on the hook. Yarn over, draw through the first 2 loops. There are 2 loops left on the hook. Yarn over, pull through all loops at once. 1 treble crochet is now completed. Crochet 1 chain for transition. Skip 1 stitch. On the second stitch from the left, crochet 1 treble crochet, wrap the yarn around the hook twice. Insert into the stitch. Yarn over and draw through. Yarn over, draw through the first 2 loops. Repeat 3 times. 1, 2, 3. 1 treble crochet is now completed. Continue crocheting on the left stitches, corresponding 1 by 1. Crochet 4 treble crochets. Then chain 1 for transition. We will consider the 5 treble crochets we just crocheted, plus the 1 chain stitch as one group. Repeat crocheting this group going downward. Skip 1 stitch between each group. Refer to the chart for the exact number of groups. After completing, skip 1 stitch. On the left stitch, crochet 4 treble crochets, corresponding 1 by 1. Then chain 1 for transition. Continue crocheting downward with a group of 5 treble crochets, plus 1 chain stitch. The number of groups is based on the chart. After completion, skip 1 stitch. On the left stitch, crochet 2 treble crochets, corresponding 1 by 1. Then, in the 4th chain of the beginning chain, join with a slip stitch. Pull tight. Secure the yarn tail and fasten off. The first round is now completed. Move on to the second round. Take the corresponding yarn. Join yarn at the slip stitch position from the previous round. Work 3 chains as beginning chain. Then crochet 1 double crochet on the left stitch. Next, in the large space of the left chain, work a double crochet. For this round, you will be working into the stitches from the previous round, and the large spaces of the chains, corresponding each with a double crochet. Continue until you finish this round. After completing the last double crochet, join with a slip stitch into the beginning chain. Secure the yarn tail and fasten off. The second round is now completed. Continue crocheting the remaining parts. For each round, you will be working into the stitches from the previous round, corresponding each with a double crochet. Note: after completing the second to last round, don't cut the yarn. Continue using the same color yarn to work the final round. The method is identical to the previous rounds. Everyone can follow this method. To finish crocheting the remaining sections, after completing, fasten off the yarn normally. Then weave in the ends on the wrong side, following the texture. Up to this point, the crocheting method for the 4 sections of the body has been fully explained. Thus, the making method for the main piece has also been completed.